be discussing the revisiting the AI, where I will be telling you the different type of AI in the application and where we are at present, so that when we conclude, we should be in a position to uh, have a clear image in our mind what next is coming and for which we are supposed to be prepared for. Then the second one, since I am the mentor also for the AICT modules. So, since if you are working in the AIC technical institution, so the government has mandated, the AICT has mandated that every faculty is supposed to go through some 8 modules, and after you complete that 8 modules, you're supposed to work under some mentor, and that mentor will help you out in preparing yourself, and then you will be evaluated. So since I'm there also, I will be sharing something with you, which I find many of the time we are missing out, right? So sure, I will be starting it, and then I will present you. The third part will be basically the recent publication, recent work that have been recognized, that have been published in the SCI journal, and one patent that we have filed for Australian patent that we have filed. It is been published, and we are awaiting the award certificate. So that will be shared with my friend Mr. Shubham, who is with me. Shubham, are you ready with all these things? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in case Subham, be there in case if you miss out on something, the sound or the PPT, please do immediately, right,
Yes, sir. I
inform
will
me. Right?
definitely
Okay.
keep
Okay.
you updated.
So I mean, it's rather difficult a question. How you define the AI. So it's a rather difficult question. And what exactly is AI? So there are many definitions given in the literature and online available. And whenever you refer to or discuss with someone, they may have their own definitions of AI. So I've tried to find out. I've tried to list the basic definition that I find interesting and which conveys all the information. And I won't dare to delve into or nor whether there is a difference between statistics and AI, or many of the applications that claims to make use of AI actually do that or not. And what I do find interesting is the discussion about where we can apply AI. The possibility are much more wide ranging than initially thought when the term was coined. Moreover, the question of where we can apply AI is in fact still not that interesting. After all, it is not about the technology so much, but about the values that the product or the service we develop with it has for the users. I just repeat one more thing. AI is not about the technology. It is not about the technology so much, but about the values that the product or the services we develop with it has for users. Nevertheless, in order to get an idea of what application you are able to develop, I think it helps to take a look at the type of artificial intelligence and the 7 patterns of AI. So in this presentation, I will be discussing about the type of AI and the 7 patterns of AI. So to start with, AI has become a catch-all term for application that perform complex tasks that previously required human inputs, like online communication with customer or a game of chess. In nutshell, AI is the ability of a machine to exhibit human-like skills. You are trying to make the machine more intelligent so that they can have the power of reasoning, learning, planning, and can have a creativity also. So we'll be seeing where the AI is at present and what will be the future course of AI algorithm developments or the system development. All right. So having said that, generally AI is divided into 2 types, type 1 and type 2. And that type 1 and type 2 are further subdivided. Type 1 is divided into 3 types and type 2 is divided into 4 types. If you see, type 1, basically differentiation is based on the capabilities, whereas type 2 is basically based on the functionality. So when you talk about the AI, please refer to this so that we will be discussing in the next slide. So one is very clear what we are discussing. The type 1, type 2. Type 1 is basically based on the capabilities. Type 1 is basically based on the capabilities, whereas type 2 is basically based on the functionality. So you can either classify the algorithm or application in 2 types. One will be type 1 or the other will be type 2. Right. So I have written down also Apple, that is AI type 1 is based on capabilities and AI type 2 is based on functionality. Apple Siri is a very good example of the narrow AI. So see, there is narrow AI, general AI, and strong AI. Type 2 is basically defined on the functionality, that is the reactive machine, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-awareness. We will see where we are at present and where the AI future is heading towards. So Apple Siri is a very good example of narrow AI, and I hope many of you might be using Apple Siri. And if you are using the Android, they are also, I mean, a helping hand is there, similar to the Apple Siri. It operates with a limited predefined range of function, narrow. Sub supercomputer also come under narrow AI. Some examples of narrow AI are playing chess, purchasing suggestion on e-commerce site. Whenever you go to Amazon, they suggest you can buy this. You go on Google, I mean, they go through your browsing habits, and they try to put out a format, a pattern, and suggest you the things which you may purchase. So this is basically a good example of narrow AI. They are developing. They are developing, and definitely in the future, definitely in the near future only, you will be able to see they are much more powerful, and they will be able to do many things. I remember many of you. I mean, how many girl participants are there? Any girl participant? Okay. I think people are not there, but anyway. So if you see, you go if you see somebody who is wearing a suit, you go and ask, and he or she says, "Fine, I got it on Amazon or Flipkart sale," and it might be costly. Nowadays, what you can do is basically it's called Google Lens. This is the thing which we are using. Google Lens, what it is doing is taking an image and trying to do a search. Hello, hello.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Hanji.
You are audible, sir.
you're audible.
Yes, okay, somebody was saying something, I think. Okay. Anyway, so see, what you do is basically you just go click a picture of anything and you search out it. The Google search it, that image, it searches on its database and the websites and the pages, and it can show you the same material, same item, same design available, maybe much cheaper or maybe nearer to you. So that is basically image recognition, speech recognition. Self-driven cars are basically the best example of narrow AI. They are developing, but I mean, like just saying, in 2005 or 2010, you depend upon the other person to exactly tell you from where he got this design or this cloth or something like that. So AI, Apple Siri narrow AI, I hope the idea is very clear. It is having the capabilities, the limited capabilities, and they are expanding day by day. Apple Siri is narrow AI because it is limited. It is a limited predefined range of functions are there. I mean, like if you use a Google Map, whatever, I mean, Google Map may be wrong, but you communicate your anger, you communicate your displeasure, but Google will not bother about it. The Google Map or the voice will not bother about it. They will simply go on because they are programmed to do so. They do not have any emotion. They do not understand your positions. So this is narrow AI, limited, right? When I say narrow AI is a type of AI which is able to perform a dedicated task with intelligence. The most commonly and currently available AI is a narrow AI in the world of artificial intelligence, and it cannot perform beyond its field or limitation. आप गूगल को कुछ बोल रहे हैं, पर गूगल जो है गूगल मैप वाला उतना ही बोलेगा जितना उसको पता है. एप्पल सीरीज से आप कुछ भी बोलते रहिए, उसके पास एक डिफाइंड है. If he or she, if that machine is basically, I will not be saying, depending upon whether you are using the male voice or the female voice, he or she is not able to understand what they does is basically they just put the question in the database so that somebody will be performing at the background, and then the answer, if he or she is having, will be provided to you, right? So this is basically the narrow AI, how it defined. So in whichever field you are working, you can create your own version of it, that either you are working in narrow AI or not, right? I hope I'm clear. Narrow AI cannot perform beyond its field of limitation, remember, and it can fail in unpredictable ways if it goes beyond the limits. It cannot move. Now we come to the next one, that is journal. Any query from this side on the narrow AI?
No, sir.
Okay. So when you say narrow AI, then we will be coming to the general AI. So when we come to general AI, My slide is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
General AI slide is available, visible?
No, sir. It's still on narrow AI.
There seem to be some issue.
Now it's coming, sir. It's general AI.
Sir, it's on general AI only.
Sir, is there any problem? Sir, are you there? Am I audible? I think, sir, you are muted. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Now I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible now.
Okay. There's
So
some
we are on super AI.
yeah.
We need to get back to general AI slide.
Okay, we have to get back to general AI, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
We have to again start the thing. I'm audible now.
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Okay. So general AI, I was discussing it. So I hope because of network issue, yeah, I may have missed. General AI is basically I'm talking about a system which will work as good as a human being, have a efficiency as good as a human. So you are trying to make the system more smart, much smarter. So the a narrow AI field or the space is already cluttered. There are n number of people and they are growing at exponential rate. So if you are willing to work in the AI field, you're supposed to work into the this general AI field, because already this is the space where we are supposed to work. Currently, there is no such system exists which could come under general AI and cannot perform any task as perfect as a human. We are trying to reach there. The worldwide researchers are now focused on developing machine with general AI, and as system with the general AI is still in the research, and it will take a lot of effort and time to develop such systems, right? Then we come to the super AI. So super AI, if general AI is not there, the super AI is basically a hypothetical concept of artificial intelligence. Development of such system in real world is still world challenging task. Super AI is a level of intelligence system at which machine could surpass human intelligence and perform any task better than human. So as of now, if you see narrow, general, and super AI. So anybody can answer where we are as of now? Anybody? You can write in the chat box also where we are. Anybody? Where we are?
You were on the slide of Super AI.
No, what I'm asking is basically it's not super AI. What I'm saying is basically out of the three AI,
Right now we are on narrow AI.
narrow AI. When we are in narrow AI, that means all the capabilities and the hardware, algorithm, software, everything is there in the narrow AI. So I hope I have made my point clear that where the AI field is headed towards. I hope I'm clear, ma'am. Right. Thank you for sharing it. So this is basically an example of it, where you are saying where we are, and this diagram clearly shows that we are narrow AI dedicated for one task, a general AI which performs like humans. Yes, tomorrow or day after tomorrow or another decade, it will be there. Super AI, it's a hypothetical concept, but then definitely we are wishing that one day we have the machines which are much better and they reflect better than the humans, right? Now, then we talk about the type 2. Type 2 was basically the reactive machines. This is another type of definition. Type 1 was the definition on one part, this on functionality part. Reactive machines are the most basic type of artificial intelligence. Such AI systems do not store memories of past experience for future actions. These machines only focus on current scenarios and react on it as per possible best action. There is one Google AlphaGo. You will find it to be the reactive machine. They do not store anything. You give some input, they process it and give you the output. If you remember how to classify in terms of type 2, when you say it cannot store, it doesn't depend, the output doesn't depend upon the memories or the past experience. Okay, for farming future actions, then that type of machine, that type of algorithm, that type of things will be termed under the type 2, which is reactive machines. Then when you talk about the second part of the type 2, that was the limited memory. Limited memory machine can store past experience or some data for short period of times. The best example for these type of devices are self-driving cars. These cars can store recent speed of nearby cars, the distance of other cars, speed limits, and other information to navigate on the road. How long? That may be a question. Depend upon the programmer or the one who have designed how many, information, how much information he or she will be willing to store. So self-driving car are one of the best example of limited memory system, and these cars can store recent speed of nearby cars, distance of other cars, speed limit, and other information to navigate the road. And yes, I agree कि पूरा रोड का डाटा रखने की जरूरत क्यों है, उतना ही डाटा रखिए जितना आपके लिए उस समय चलने के लिए है, सो दैट आपको पता हो पीछे कोई आ तो नहीं रहा है, आगे तो नहीं है, साइड में क्या है, एंड देन यू मूव ऑन राइट. Then you come to the third part, that is called the theory of mind. AI should understand the human emotions, people believe, and be able to interact socially like human. This type of AI machines are still not developed. but researchers are making lot of efforts and improvement for developing such AI machine. What is theory of mind? I mean, like I mean, algorithm should be able to I mean, they respond to your emotions, beliefs, and all these things. As of now, it hardly matters you. It hardly matters whether you are, I mean, happy with the Google Map or Alexa, or you may not like it. Alexa or Google Map or the voice will have no issue. They do not bother about you are in trouble or not. So this type of AI, theory of mind, where you can have the algorithm which performs and understand the human emotions, is basically the field where people are now working. People are saying, "क्या मेरा computer या मेरी Alexa ही बता सकती है if I'm not in a good mood because of my facial expression, because of my words, because of my tone? Can they react? Can they provide me something which suits me?" The system which basically behaves like a human being, which can understand my emotion. So this is the space we are moving. So again, when we say type 2 type of devices, then we have theory of the mind is the place where the AI is supposed to move on. All other things are available. Limited capabilities are available, whether with memory or without memory, whether with whether it depends upon, it's on the limited memory, memory stored for a limited time, or no memory. It hardly matters, right? So theory of mind is basically in the type 2 when you define that where we are heading towards. Then we got a self-awareness AI. It's the future of AI. These machines will be super intelligent and will have their own conscious sentiments and self-awareness. These machines will be smarter than the human minds. When you talk about human mind, I mean smarter than the human mind, then you are supposed to infuse different capacities which will make the machine smarter and should have high computation, and they should have the memory, they should have past experience, and based on the past experience they should be able to predict, and they should be able to help you with their emotion, I mean with your emotions. Self-awareness AI does not exist in reality. It's a hypothetical concept, but we wish that tomorrow or day after tomorrow we have a system, we have AI algorithm, we have intelligent system which reacts in a better way as compared to the human. So this is basically the type 2. So any query on this type? I mean, so that we can finish it off. Otherwise, it will become boring because I will be having a monologue. Anybody having question till this slides? Okay. I don't think anybody has a question. That means fine. Either all are absent or I'm giving a very good presentation. From the participant side, anyone?
No, sir, no question.
Shubham, it's you and me. But anyway, no problem. So we'll be moving towards the next slide. So as I've said that I've already given you the two types of AI which are there. When you talk about two types of AI, I have told you where we are. Now I divide all the algorithm that's available into these 7 patterns, into one of the 7 patterns that I'm showing. So what you see out here is basically there are 7 patterns of AI. So whichever algorithm you are working upon, they will be either one of them or the combination of one of them. So people are basically not only developing the algorithm as a standalone among from these 7 patterns, they are developing the algorithm, they are developing the system, they are developing the AI algorithm with the cross breeding of ideas or something from these 7 patterns. So the patterns are hyper personalization. I mean, now onwards I will be referring to HP, then patterns and anomaly, automated system, goal driven system, predictive analytic and decision, conversation and human interaction, and recognition. These are the 7 common patterns of AI which people are using as standalone or the combination of more than one of these 7 parameters, which algorithm you are working. The hypergeneration pattern is defined as using machine learning to develop a profile of each individual and then having that profile learn and adopt over time for wide variety of purpose, including displaying relevant content. Hyper personalization, when you talk about, it talks about an individual personalization for a specific person. Like if I give you an example, You go to Netflix, you see a movie. After some time, Netflix predicts which movie you may be interested in. The people after watching this movie have seen these movie because they are trying to personalize your experience. When you go to Amazon, they are trying to personalize your experience. This is hyper personalization where the AI will be able to on your browsing pattern, on your search pattern, on your database, on your movement across, they will be able to
और
predict.
भाई
A company that currently utilizing a technology, excuse me, hello, a company that's currently utilizing a technology of this nature is Netflix. The very good example. Starbucks is a people are trying what you order, what you will be buying. So they are trying to do the hyper-personalization in the market industry. Similarly, you can find all these applications popping up in industries as finance, healthcare, personalization, fitness, and wellness application, right? Isn't it? People, based on your experience across the browser, across the spectrum, will be providing you support or suggestion in finance, healthcare, and wellness applications. And you are nowadays seeing it. You go to this, okay, fine, you are having these symptoms, you can go to these type of doctor and these types of medicine generally. Then comes, I hope I'm clear, hyper personalization. Any question from this? Any participant? I hope ki I'm the only one who is there. Okay. Anyway,
so participants are commenting in the chat box. They don't have any question as of now.
okay, fine. So
And one question is there, sir. The somebody has written, Dr. Ashish sir. Do we know human minds?
no, no. Ashish ji, are you there? Ashish ji, since you have raised a question,
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Sir,
okay, Ashish ji, it's good to hear from you because otherwise it become a dialogue. You know, I will be learning things from you. So, I mean, you have asked, do we know human mind? I can
Yes, sir.
say it with confidence. No,
Okay.
no.
Because, sir, because it depends on the person using the app. For example, if you have somebody like, okay, I shouldn't take names, but if you have somebody like, I mean, there are extremes of altruism as well as selfishness in human behavior.
Yeah, everything.
So, yeah.
When I say that, sir, with things comes the positivity and negativity. Every system, I mean, it's a matter of debate, you know, whether the AI system is good or not. Some people are saying it's good, some people are saying no, it's bad. So it basically depends how we use it, isn't it? So mind को भी हम
Yes, like
समझ नहीं
always,
सकते, mind,
others,
हाँ,
yeah, sorry.
हाँ, माइंड को भी हम समझ नहीं सकते हैं. अभी तो हमने शायद माइंड को समझा भी नहीं है, हमारी ह्यूमन कैपेबिलिटीज को समझा भी नहीं.
Yes, sir, I agree.
I may not be the human scientist, but I'm amazed, you know, I'm amazed with people who are using their capabilities, physical as well as mental abilities to, I mean, challenge things and doing something which is better than the one done by the previous generation, isn't it?
Yes,
You agree
sir,
with
yes,
that?
I agree.
I see my daughter who is in her 7th class, and she's more comfortable with the devices and gadgets as compared to me.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, that means something is there which is evolving, something is there which we have not used.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. So thank you. I mean, now I have started the chat box also, so
Yes,
that
sir,
now I
just
will
one
be able
comment,
to.
sir. I think when we were in school, we were told that science can be a blessing or a curse, like
Yeah,
positive
yeah,
or
yeah,
negative.
yeah, yeah.
I think this case is similar with AI, I think.
Acha, to give you a very good example, Ashish sir, and to others, if I mean, like you agree, Corona, somebody says it's lab developed. I don't know. I mean, but then if it is developed, then it's a bad example of science. But similarly, if you have developed
Yes, sir.
the vaccine, it's a good example of science. Humans are doing the same thing, positive, negative, everything. So you always have a shade of grays.
Yes, sir, I agree, sir. Yes.
Right. अब मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ बहुत अच्छा सा. आई मीन लाइक क्योंकि आई मीन नाउ दिस बिकम अ डायलॉग, यू नो, अदरवाइज आई वाज जस्ट सिंपली लाइक रीडिंग अप टू द स्लाइड. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं जिसको हम चाहते हैं कि हों, पर हमें पता ही नहीं है कि शायद हमारे अंदर कैपेबिलिटीज है, अनलेस एंड अंटिल वी आर पुट टू टेस्ट. शुड आई मूव फॉरवर्ड नाउ?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, then we will be coming to the next one, that is patterns and anomalies. When you talk about patterns and anomalies, I hope it says all patterns. You try to find out the patterns in the data. That is, machine learning is particularly good at identifying patterns and finding anomalies of outliers. This pattern matching pattern is one of the repeating approach to AI project that has seen wide and increasing adoption. The goal of this pattern and anomalies pattern of AI is to use machine learning and other cognitive approaches to learn patterns in the data and then higher order of connection between these data points to see if it fits an existing pattern or not. I give you an example. You go on a Facebook, you do something out there, and they tell you which can be your friend. You go there and analyze your movement, how many friends you moved. I've been working in a field called social marketing. There's a subject where people are basically finding out if you wish to grow. Like if somebody has a plan to go somewhere, you should start early and find out which group you should join so that you reach your goal. So you have to find out the pattern. If I do, what will happen? So, I mean, like the fraud and risk detection algorithms are working in the same way. Application of this pattern and abnormalities is basically minimizing or fixing the human mistakes. This pattern also includes predictive text, which can analyze patterns in speech and grammar to help suggest words to choose to speed up the writing process. So this is basically patterns and anomalies. And anyway, anyone if having you can write to me in the chat box also, right? Thanks to Aarti Singh who's saying yes sir, absolutely correct, right? So then we come to the autonomous system. When we talk about the autonomous system pattern, reducing the need for manual work. Autonomous system automatically are physical and virtual software and hardware systems that are able to accomplish a task, reach a goal, interact with their surrounding, and achieve an objective with a minimal human involvement. Where the primary objective of the hyper personalization is to treat people as individual, the goal of autonomous system is to streamline things with as little as possible for human interaction. I hope I have made the point different. The autonomous pattern requires machine learning capability that can independently perceive the outside world, predict the future behavior of external elements, and plan for how to deal with those changes. Obvious application of this pattern includes autonomous machine and vehicle of all sorts, including car, boat, train, airplane, and more. However, this pattern also includes autonomous system, including autonomous documentation and knowledge generation, autonomous business process, and cognitive automation. These includes systems that can operate in close proximity to humans, including preferential decision making. Then I move to the recognition pattern. One of the big advancements in machine learning is the use of deep learning to greatly improve the accuracy of recognition. I mean, like, I'm clear. I mean, मैं टेस्ट तो नहीं जा रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सा आगे जरूरत हो तो मुझे बता सकते हैं. Greatly improve the accuracy of recognition related tasks such as image, video, audio, and object recognition, classification, and identification. So recognition pattern is defined as using machine learning and other cognitive approach to identify and determine objects or other desired things to identify within an image, video, audio, or text. This is unstructured data, primarily unstructured data. The objective of this pattern is to have machine identify and understand things like image and object recognition, facial recognition, audio and sound recognition, handwriting and text recognition, and gesture detection. This is a well-developed pattern that computers are really good at it and is fairly widely used. There are many companies who are investing heavily in the recognition system. In fact, one of the most well-funded AI companies, SenseTime, is focused on facial recognition application, and the Chinese government is investing heavily in the use of adoption of this pattern. Then we talk about the conversation and human interaction. This is another pattern of AI. This is defined as machine and human interacting with each other through conversational form of interaction and content across a variety of methods, including voice, text, and image format. And this includes machine to human, human to machine, and back and forth human machine interaction. The objective of these or this pattern is enabling machine to interact with humans, how humans interact with each other, like chatbots. The best example is chatbots, voice assistants, sentiments, mood and intent analysis. So when you interact with a human, the other should not feel that they are not interacting with human. So nowadays, many of the customer support are using the chatbots. Chatbots basically already programmed. When you say hi, it says, hi, what do you want me to do? So this is basically a chat box. People know, they are increasing. If you have the voice assistant, or they can ask you dial 1, dial 2, dial 3. So you will not be dealing with any human. It will be 24 into 7 into 365 days. Right. So these are the systems that people are working. Already you have seen, many of us are seeing, and you're using it on a daily basis. Then you have predictive analysis and decision. This is defined as using machine learning and other cognitive approach to understand how past or existing behaviors can help predict future outcomes of help human make decision about future outcomes based on these patterns. And this predictive analysis and decision, if I say, is basically is still people are working on it. Can you tell somebody seeing the data whether they will be defaulting? Best fit, identifying matches in data, optimization activities, giving advice, intelligence system. So people are working on it. It's a distant dream, but this is basically the areas where we are supposed to focus around strength also. When you talk about the goal-driven system, this is the thing. People are working, but lot of things has to be achieved. Machines have proven to be particularly adapted learning at rule of the game and beating humans at their own games. Yes, there are algorithm which can tell you how to play chess, and they can win also. They can play Ludo with you and they can win also. But still, they need refinement. In the past, machines have usually conquered the game of checkers, chess, and finding solution to maze. Though the power of reinforcement learning and much more advanced computation capability, machines are now able to win at Go multiplayer games. I hope everybody will agree. The games are the one which are basically asking the machine to be more human, more confident, and you should be able to, in the domain called long hope goals called artificial general intelligence, AGI, which is basically that is said. I hope I'm clear. While the goal-driven system pattern not yet as widely implemented as some of the other patterns, it is gaining rapid adoption. So when I say 7 common parameters, so this is basically, so depending on the combination of AI from these 7 or the 2 differentiation, you can find that the AI will find use in some of the fields which I have shown. The list is endless, and people are talking about they are talking about having somebody is commenting no voice. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Simon, please check your voice. Right. So basically future of AI, this is not limited to कोई end नहीं है applications का. Healthcare, security, defense, education, banking, autonomous, manufacturing, entertainment, workplace, everything, every interaction a human has with other human or anything A, B, C, D in this physical world can have an impact of AI, whether today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow. But something is going to be there in every field. And any question till now? No. Okay. So I move to the next slide. So now artificial intelligence, basically artificial intelligence started in 1950s. Still people are working on that. But the subset, machine learning and deep learning subset, I'm saying, whatever you do for machine learning or whatever you do for in deep learning is going to increase the capabilities of AI. I ask a question. If you increase deep learning and machine learning capabilities, you are increasing the artificial intelligence. From type 1, from where we are moving to which side? Anyone? You can write in the chat box also if you don't want to speak out. General AI, narrow AI, you are where? So nobody is responding. So people are really working on the subset also. So only artificial intelligence is not the field. There are subset of artificial intelligence algorithms that are called machine learning and the deep learning algorithms are the areas Okay, Dr. Ashish is saying, can I repeat the question? Yes, I can repeat the question. What I was asking is basically when you, I mean, they are the two subset of AI, that is machine learning and then there is a deep learning. Both are basically focused, both are developed as a subset to enhance the capacity and capabilities of AI. So my question was, when you increase these capabilities through either by use of machine learning or through the use of deep learning, you are basically moving from narrow AI, JI, where we are then we are increasing the capabilities. We are now moving from narrow AI to general AI and so on and so forth. This is what I was asking, right? I hope I answered the question. So to define what AI and MI is, AI means human made thinking power. Artificial intelligence is a technology used which we can create intelligent system, whereas machine learning is about extracting knowledge from the data. You remember when I said there are applications where you have the memory or you may not have the memory. If you are having the memory, then you will be using that memory or the previous information, previous interaction, previous experience, and try to find out a pattern, try to find out what will be the next step. You're getting? So machine learning is basically sharpening the AI techniques, giving more tools and nails to them. So AI technique was basically supposed to make a system intelligent, where machine learning is basically talking about making learning from the mistakes, and that is what we humans do. मेरे को पता है, मेरी मम्मा ने बोला है कि गर्म चीजों को नहीं छूना चाहिए. Okay, I now know it because my mother has said it. I know it now. This is artificial intelligence again as a kid. But the day I touched it, I have a real life experience saying garam cheezon ko nahi chuna bhaiya. Then I realize it, and this is basically I have devised. तो मुझे पता है कि कैसे पढ़ना है. एग्जाम में जाना मुझे पता है कि एक्स वाई टीचर ने पुराने पैटर्न पे किस तरीके का पेपर बनाया हुआ है, तो इस साल कैसा पेपर आ सकता है वो मुझे आइडिया हो जाता है. So this is basically you are trying to find out the past experience and then you try to find out the future, or you can predict the output. Now I'm coming to something very important. Just see the slide. I hope the slide is not changing. I hope. This is the most important thing I'm trying to say. I don't know in the previous sessions you have discussed it or not. AI and its subset requires sound mathematical knowledge. I hope everybody will agree. And since I am the mentor of the AICT module also, what I've seen is basically you ask a person nowadays that I have this such a data and I need this information. They go to MATLAB or any other tool and they solve it. Simulation is 100% clear. Whereas AI and MI not only require the programming skill. I'm not saying they're wrong. What I'm saying is basically when you write a simulation, you're using the already available information. You are supposed to have your own mathematical knowledge. Right? So instead, my experience says when you develop an algorithm, you have to have your own functions. Then only you will be able to use it. Nowadays, many of the simulation have already written programs in the library and you can reuse it. We are basically trying to put the block A, B, C, D or A, C, D, B, something like that. So we are definitely getting the different result. But if you want to really make a contribution, we are supposed to have a sound mathematical knowledge and we should be able to change it. I give you an example. I need attention of all. My slide is visible to you. Just go through it, what is written in the slide. And I would like, input from your side. Ashish ji, jara dekhiye. Jampi Datta ji, please. Murugan ji. Napreet Kaur ji. Please see to it. What I'm saying is, basically, I need to do a multiple linear regression analysis on the data. That has salary, education level in years, and work experience. I will give you the data. Conduct a multiple regression analysis by finding the regression model in the following data set. Comment on the model predicted. This is one question query of mine. So this is basically the data. This data is available to you. This is observation that somebody salary is 30,000, education say 11 years or experience of 10 years, something like that. Very good. Ashish has said salary is equal to X cross years of education, Y cross of year of education, right? This is basically a general formula you are trying to do. What I'm saying is basically a more specific way. Mathematically अगर आप देखें तो इसका करने का एक तरीका है. इसका एक regression का formula है. Multiple regression, multiple parameters पे depend है. I will show you how it is done. ये मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये अगर मैं आज किसी को दूंगा तो वो इसका प्रोग्राम लिख सकता है. I hope Ashish, I agree with that, but hard work also important, not just time. I mean, this is just a data. Everything is important in life. I'm just saying ki this is a data. And can you predict a model if somebody is having an education of 25 years, what an experience of 8 years, what will be the expected salary? This is basically the question, right? So if I give this question to any of the young faculty members, what they will be doing is basically they can write a wonderful program and which can predict it. Already made in function, different language, Python, or you might be using the MATLAB or any other simulation software, you will be able to do it. When we are able to do it, basically we are running a program, we are coding, but basically we are not enhancing the capabilities of AI. We are not writing an algorithm which enhanced the output. I just give you this example. This is a solution to this. When you go in the class, when you discuss it, you have this. Instead of doing the coding solution, try to do it this way also. This is basically how the coded is written, and just see how easy it becomes. You have the salary is x1 and is x2, and then they try to find out the x1 square, x2 square, then can find out x1 by. Basically, if you go through it, this is basically the theory behind that. How you develop this. How you find out the ML hello, excuse me. So we are trying to find out the this is basically multiple linear regression, and you find out this is one example where we are looking into how to fit the curve, and mathematically it is done. So this is basically this data is there, and these are the calculation that has been done, and based on the fact you will find out these values, and you find out this equation. When you find out this equation, I hope I just say, when you find out this equation, my screen, I show you another screen. I hope I was seeing the solution instead of sharing with you. Now, this was basically the question. Instead of going, this is the way the programs are written. You just use the formula, MLR regression or any other that you want, correlation, whatever you want. But then this is two variable MLR step by step, which I have shown you. You see how this is converted, how this information is basically used to calculate some parameters, and based on this is pure mathematics, how you do it. And now somebody gives you an experience, somebody says that education length, and you will be able to predict the salary of it. This is how you are doing it. So basically, if you are able to develop this algorithm, if you remember the very first or second slide I've said, I don't know, what's the difference between AI and SI, statistics and all these things, all these mathematical models are available. How to predict, how to get the pattern, how to provide a equation, or how to find out a relation. Instead of using the built-in functions of any programming language, if you can do this, this will enhance the quality of work, and it will be unique work. I hope I'm clear. You can go to many sites which provides you such algorithms where you are supposed to work. If you are teaching AI or ML or data, then you are supposed to use such algorithm in your classroom also. So where you can find out the mathematical models and try to print out your own functions. Any query from this side? Any query? Can
in the chat box, Ashish sir has written.
Can AI
Use
auto detect maths model? I'm sorry, it is not. AI cannot detect the math model. Basically, what they are underlying, yes, underlying logic you are saying, yes. You can write a program. If somebody gives a input, yes, it can choose something from A, B, C, D model which are already implemented. This is what we are doing also. When we write a program, when we write a simulation, what we are doing is basically we are calling some function which has already been written. So try to make your own function where you implement your own model of correlations, regression. So you have better control as compared to the ones who are only relying on the programming. Programming is definitely the, I mean, languages are there which has made the work very easy. I was just going through, आशीष जी, I mean, कुछ दिनों पहले की बात है, मैं मेरे को किसी ने बताया कि एक्सेल के नए वर्जन के अंदर ये ऑप्शन आ गया है, you have a data, you just cut and paste out there and you use the machine learning algorithm, select the machine learning algorithm, and it will give you the answer. So you don't have to write a C code or a Python code or a MATLAB code also. You don't have to call a function. You simply just choose from the drop-down menu and you will be able to do that. Right? So this is what I'm saying. Instead of using many data analytics are nowadays are using all these things. When you write a program only without making your own function, you are not designing your own algorithm, you are basically reusing something, you become a programmer only. When you are since I mean, like, if you can develop your own model, yes, the work will have more sharpness and it will be more acceptable. Right? This is what I was trying to say. Now onward, Shubham will take over, where he will be discussing about the various work that we have done. And Shubham is in my lab and he's working, we are working together. He will be presenting 3 works of ours where we have achieved some result. It is published, as well as one part is in the patent form also from the Australian Innovation Patent, and he will be taking over. Shubham, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So please you take over and you start the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please.
Before talking about the different fields that we have worked on, I will like to give you a small overview on the computer vision, which is an field of artificial intelligence. If you know, can I?
हाँ सर, आप शेयर करा शुरू कर शेयर मैं कर
What
दूं
computer vision is?
मैं शेयर
आप ही शेयर कीजिए.
ओके मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ
हाँ सर, आप ही शेयर करिए.
राइट जस्ट अ मोमेंट
Anyone from the party, sir, what computer vision is?
you just start, come on. I hope there might be some network issues also.
Computer vision is okay. Okay. Computer vision is a field of artificial intelligence that enables computers and systems to derive meaningful or to take out meaningful information from digital images, videos, or any other visual inputs that can be used for making recommendation or some recognition. So next slide. Computer vision is also abbreviated as CV in short. So next slide.
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay. Computer vision has 3 nearby fields in main. One is computer graphics, one is computer photography, one is computer vision itself. In computer graphics, we deal with generating images with the aid of computers, that is by using computers, that is AutoCAD systems. We generate computer graphics as an core technology to develop digital photography, films, video games, cell phones, and computer display. And in many other specialized applications also, we use computer graphics like computer holograms. In computer photography, we enhance the quality of image from one image to other image. In layman language, I have to say is we convert the old images of our grandparents to the new colorful images with the enhanced quality. That is computer photography. In the computer vision, that is totally opposite to the computer graphics, where models are made from different set of images. Like you have seen in the image in one of the picture of Salman Khan, that is Kick, where he has taken the images of different hotels and he has prepared a hologram model using the computer vision only. The next slide. The question is, what make computers understand images and videos? One thing is, what can you understand if I show you this image? What you can interpret from this? What kind of scene is this? It's a bright sunny day. What things you are able to see in this image are cars, fountains, homes. How far is the building from you only? So please stop. The next is why computer vision matters. Why is there is a need of computer vision when we can see from our naked eyes also? The first thing is safety, second is health, third is security, for comfort zone, for fun, and for assessing other vital informations. For safety perspective, we can use it in highways, expressways to avoid accidents, in railways to avoid manless. So please stop. One of the application of the computer. No, sir, I will take it. One of the application of computer vision that we are using in our day-to-day life, but not knowing the exact name is face detection. As soon as we open the camera of our mobile phone, we see an square type box that can be seen in the image also in green and yellow color that gets around our face only. This is the face detection type of algorithms that we are using in our cameras these days. Many digital cameras nowadays detect face. A few examples of the recent days are Canon, Sony that use face detection in the early days. Nowadays, everyone is using face detection in their mobile phones. Snapchat, there is one of the application where we can use different multiple filters for face detection and smile detection. So next slide.
So we will be moving fast now because we have to wind up before the 5 p.m. also. Na? So smile detection is another one. The object recognition.
Yes, smile detection. The next part is the object recognition in supermarkets. This is a very common concept here up in Japan. In India, we are not using it up to that extent. In Japan, there are many baskets in the multiple store. Hello.
हाँ चल रहा है आप बोलो आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
Okay.
Then we have there
are vision-based biometrics in which we can that is used in for an Afghan girl to use the identification using his iris patterns.
Yeah.
Because in Afghan there are some, and the next is login without the password. We can see that the mouse is equipped with biometric sensors to scan the biometrics of our fingerprints. We can easily unlock or lock our systems using this. We don't need to type the long length passwords. Object detection can be used in mobile phones. You can see that we are clicking on the left hand side, we are clicking a picture with the mobile. On the right side, we are seeing the Wikipedia page where the same object is detected using the object recognition algorithms in mobiles and other software. Special effects are used to create shapes in movies. This is in short from the Matrix movie. The other example is motion capture in the Pirates, where different motions are captured using the special effects of computer vision. No, these days we are talking about smart cars. Computer vision has played a vital role in the smart cars, in the advancement of the smart cars. Companies like BMW, Tesla, General Motors, Volvo are using computer vision or smart cars to a large extent. Nowadays, Toyota has tested a smart windscreen where the odometer and all the necessary details which we see in digital and analog meters installed right beyond our steering wheel. They have shifted the whole scenario in the windscreen only. So there is a new concept of digital windscreens. There is no setup of those plastics and digital odometers and speedometers installed beyond our steering wheel of the car. Vision-based games interaction is a new concept of object recognition where we play games or we dance, we play racket is running in our home only by following, we can say that by following all those precautions we can work out from home only, and we feel like we are playing in some lawn tennis outside only. So by sitting inside only, we can feel like we are playing outside. We get the same exertion. The vision has plays also important role in space recognition, where 3D terrain modeling, obstacle detection, position tracking has been used in vision in computer vision in space also by NASA. No, the important concept is industrial robots, where robots are used especially for welding purpose, where the where we have to use a minute welding approach for the welding of car joints and for the paints also. So these are the few this is the very first work that we have done in the field of COVID-19 detection. The outcome of this work was we have been able to publish 3 good research articles in peer-reviewed journals, and we have also filed one patent which is awaiting grant. Hopefully, it will be get granted in few more days. In this work, with the advancement of data analytics and machine learning towards diagnostic of infection in the medical image analysis, the growth rate is affected in the patients, which give us the time to think that how can we use AI for the detection of COVID-19. The COVID-19 can be detected by using different algorithms like VGG16, VGG19, residual network, dark network, as in fundamental networks, along with some single shot detector or double single shot detectors, as in prediction. We can say that how much the lungs of a particular patient is affected or not. Now the question here can be, what is single shot detector or what is VGG16 or VGG19? VGG16 is a visual geometry group, version 16 and version 19. Here we have used 16 layer and 19 layer network, deep neural network, along with single shot detector as in base network, which is used for training and testing of data set of images. Training and testing of images of COVID affected patients. The data set include both the images of affected patients also and the normal patient also. As we have to done the comparison with the images of the affected patients and the non-affected patients to overcome to get out with the outcome of the accuracy and to what extent the system is detecting is good or bad. We have also got in touch with the doctors for the validation of our work. So this is the a flow diagram or flow chart of the work that have been done. Firstly, we have taken the images, then the pre-process, the splitting of images has been done, like training images and the testing images. Then some pre-processing techniques have been applied or sorted for the sorting of the images. Then time tuning the processes of different deep neural networks. The first one is DenseNet. Second one is ResNet. Fourth one is VGG16 and VGG19. Then the training of the model was done, and the selection of outcome was done.
Yeah.
So next slide.
Yeah, this way basically we were able to have the results which are at an acceptable level. So this is basically
Yes.
one example of the work that the AI finds. So we are already working
in
in
the
computer
medical
vision.
field.
Yeah, in the deep learning method, right? Then this was the application 2. Please.
Yes, in the application 2, we have used the computer vision in the smart refrigerator concept. You might be thinking that smart refrigerators are there from long 2-3 years back only, and what we have done in this new work. Machine learning has evolved with a variety of algorithms to enable state-of-art computer vision applications. In particular, the automation of real-time food identification was there was a need for that in smart refrigerator. According to a survey of Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, it was found that 1.3 billion food was wasted in household refrigerators only. So taking motivation from that, we have proposed or we have developed a system where we can automate the detection of the vegetables and the fruits before they get wiped out or without getting them wasted. This is an overview of the system that we have designed. The first block consists of camera sensing, where you have seen written A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. This is a detailed overview of the system that have been designed by our side. It can consist of camera sensing equipments, camera sensors, Raspberry Pi load cells, different intelligent portable modules, servo motors, weight sensing areas, spot topping wheels, UVV disinfecting box, touch screen installed at the refrigerator, Android app also, cloud-based servers and touch screen. Next slide, sir.
Oh, this is fine. We move to the next one, right?
Yes, sir. Next slide.
Yeah.
So this is the overview of the app that have been developed by our side for the automation of the same. The next application is the credit risk modeling. The work was supported by the Impress grant of Indian Council of Social Science and Research, Government of India. In this work, what we have done is we have predicted the defaulters by their we have predicted the defaulters whether they will be able to pay the loan or not. As we all know that when we go to take up the loan from the banks, they ask for multiple documents and it's a long lengthy process. And these days we are also listening about the CIBIL score and all those tools. By inserting the CIBIL score and different parameters like what job, what type of job you are doing, what family background you have, what is your bank balance, what is your age, all these parameters, we have predicted what will be the predictions that you will be paying your loan or not. If not, then our system will predict that there is no fun of giving you loan, as you will not be able to give the loan, pay back the loan, and it will give a huge loss to the government and the public property. This is the basic overview of flowchart of the proposed methodology that we have done in the credit risk management system. Next slide. Next slide, sir.
Sir, मैंने कर दिया, I hope the outcome is there.
Okay. Outcomes. In modeling credit risk is in high demand value. Most banking corporates suffer great loss every year due to loan defaults. This problem has been tackled in many directions for a long now. For several studies, especially stated the lack in artificial neural networks is a major issue for tasks for like credit risk modeling. Thus, for well-structured, robust, and efficient methodology, this will be a higher priority than any other system to predict the performance of an loan default. Finally, we presented a credibility of our methodology via its efficient performance on 3 different types of data sets. These 3 different data sets include the data set from India and abroad. Abroad, like countries like Australia, Taiwan, and Japan. We have used the data sets from there also. Their banking system is a bit different from our. So we have validated, get our work validated from the other countries also.
Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
now take over, right? So I hope
word is the right word.
हूँ मैं ये सोच रही हूँ
सेकंड ईयर दे हुआ कि थर्ड ईयर
सेकंड ईयर गया
Naprit ma'am,
kindly muted yourself.
Ganesh Kote, please. Naprit ma'am, please, if possible. Now, I'm sorry to disturb between the chat. So this is basically what we have discussed today. I introduced you the different types of AI and the 7 parameters, or 7 types of AI. And then we talked about the 3 patterns that I have shown you. And I've also shown you that you can construct, actually, when you are saying regression or any other model and calling a function, basically that has a firm mathematical base. So in this discussion or interaction, I try to prove, I try to show to you that yes, what we are supposed to do, we can use the AI, where is heading, where are the loopholes, where there is a possibility of enhancing our contribution. I showed 3 applications that we have recently done. One in the medical field, other for the housewives, and the third one dealing with the banks. So this shows the spectrum of application of your algorithm. You develop an algorithm for a specific site and you use the same algorithm in other areas also. So go on, still for COVID detection, there are algorithms which are already 99.99% accurate. So people are really working to enhance the capabilities of those algorithms also. With sooner or later you will be able to have a non-invasive technique. based on such algorithms. Everybody is contributing. Even I have seen people working where they are able to detect the COVID. I mean, based on what is called as voice samples. So enormous work can be done. So I hope I made the point. And before we conclude, before we say thanks, any suggestion or any cooperation we look forward to, and any queries coming from your mind? I mean, from your side. Any query from your side? Before we wind up, we will be winding the course then. I mean, this discussion. Misuse potential is very dangerous. Ashish, I'm not getting it. Can you switch on your mic and we can discuss it?
Yes, sir. What I was saying that the potential for misuse is very high because because I saw a website which takes about 5 minutes of your voice sample and speaks whatever it wants to speak in your voice.
Yes. I tell you one more thing. मैं एक एग्जांपल मैं आपको और भी देता हूँ आप जो कह रहे हैं हम लोग भी उस पे वर्क कर रहे हैं. बेसिकली दे आर सेइंग यू कैन क्रिएट एन आर्टिफिशियल इमेज, मतलब एक फेस की एक इमेज बना सकते हैं जो रियल में नहीं होगा वो आदमी. I can create the face which will not exist on this earth. So I mean there's a site called This Face Does Not Exist.
Yes,
so I mean we are working on that also. Can we find out that this face does not exist? It was used to crack the Apple security face detection, face lock के लिए. तो I mean हाँ सर, जब हीरो होता है तो उसकी लाइफ में मजा तभी आता है जब विलन होता है. Isn't it? ताले का I mean चोर का मजा तभी है जब पुलिस भी है. So I mean like positive, negative, and all shades of grey will be coexisting.
Sir, no, but
yes, I understand your concern. I definitely understand your concern. Yeah. We also think, I mean, अगर मैं इस interaction के आगे सोचूं, तो there are many times I feel like यार इस सब में परेशानी होती है. I give you a very good example of all these things. I mean आप फंस जाते हैं. आपका बेसिकली रिकॉर्ड रहता है ना, कई बार हिस्ट्री रहती है कहीं जाने की, तो आप फंस जाते हैं. तो आई मीन इसका है तो बुरा, है तो बुरा ये, लेकिन पर ये भी सच्चाई है कि अगर इफ बेनिफिट्स 100 people and it is misused by one, we can definitely improve upon to seal all those loopholes. That is basically where we are heading. Every day we are developing something here, something there, a small increment is there, and definitely we are making the system foolproof. आज की डेट में अगर इंटरेक्शन अगर हम देखें ऑनलाइन पेमेंट, अब काफी कुछ सिक्योर होते जा रहे हैं. मतलब सिस्टम खराब नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम तब आती है जब हम मैसेज गलत पढ़ते हैं और हम किसी गलत मैसेज को रिएक्ट कर देते हैं. If we are cautious, yes, we will be safe. So we can use the science or technology to betterment of human life. But yes, definitely there will be अलग लोग भी होंगे, कुछ ना कुछ तो करेंगे.
What I am concerned is, sir, adults मतलब खुद का डेटा दे देते हैं इंटरनेट पे. That is okay. I mean, they are aware of the misuse potential. लेकिन आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि बच्चों का एजुकेशन भी ऑनलाइन आ रहा है, तो वो भी एक मेजर कंसर्न है. बिकॉज आई थिंक इट कैन बी ऑटोमेटेड इन दैट सेंस. मतलब बच्चों को धमकाने के लिए या मतलब मिसयूज ऑफ फोटोज या वॉइस या वीडियो
ये बिल्कुल हो रहा है. बट एक्चुअली क्या है ना कि आई मीन लाइक ये लोगों को डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ पे हमें स्टॉप करना है. लाइक फेसबुक पे, बिकॉज आई आल्सो वर्क इन वन फील्ड कॉल्ड सोशल नेटवर्क्स. तो उसमें बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि जब फेसबुक पे आपकी जो पोस्ट है वो आपके बारे में बहुत कुछ बताती है. दैट इज कॉल्ड डिजिटल हाइजीन. आप जब अपनी व्हाट्सएप पे स्टेटस डालते हैं, व्हाई यू वांट टू टेल एवरीबॉडी दैट यू आर हैविंग समथिंग इन द ब्रेकफास्ट एंड यू आर गोइंग टू XYZ शॉप.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? I mean, वो बताता है when you are saying कि मेरे बच्चे ऐसे कर रहे हैं, that means you are trying to say my kids are doing this thing. So proud of them. But when you say clicking a photo, I purchased a car today. I'm going to XYZ place today. So what basically people are getting is basically you are saying, you are conveying to everyone that how can I be lucky? I mean, people are not thinking of that you can buy a car and you are supposed to tell everybody so that they should know that you are having a car and you are capable of buying a car.
Yes, sir.
But basically, I mean like ये लिमिट जो है ना सर, ये बेसिकली पर्सन टू पर्सन डिवाइन करती है. आज की डेट में आपकी स्टेटस, आपकी लाइफ, सब कुछ एक्सपोज्ड है. एवरी डाटा इज अवेलेबल. In America, it is said by knowing your PIN code, your name, and the social security number, I can have everything about you. आज की डेट में somebody have the access to Aadhaar, they can have everything about you. If somebody has a link to your this पैन कार्ड people will tell you कि क्या क्या कर रहे हैं. I tell you a very good example of that. I had some money and मैंने उसकी एक FD बना दी. And I was thinking nobody knows it. कोई पैसा कभी आ जाता है ना इधर उधर से, तो हमने जमा करके रख दिया. मैं साल भर के बाद अपने CA के पास पहुंचा और मैंने कहा यार उसका वो इनकम टैक्स भरना है. तो उसने जब बोला तो कहते हैं आप सब बता रहे हैं आपके पास एक XYZ अमाउंट की FD भी है. I said how you know? मैं तो आपके अकाउंट में जैसे ही नंबर डालता हूँ वो सारा बैंक का जितना आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है सारा आ जाता है. तो अब है तो बुरा. अब मैं आप मेरे हिसाब से देखोगे तो यार मेरा जो इनकम था सर वो सबको पता चल गया. But yes, for government के लिए अच्छा है because they will be able to collect the tax now. I will be able to collect the tax. So that is a good thing and bad thing. Both the aspects are there. They are coexisting. You know, I feel कि godly things will be there more as compared to the devilish thing. We can pray only, right? And if it is the other way, negative energies are more, then definitely the system and the society has to suffer, right, sir?
Yes, I think education also has to be in the sense modified because people should be at least aware कि ऐसा हो सकता है और ये सब deep fake है, झूठ है.
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise, little kids believe anything, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So, any other question from any of the participant before we wind up? Because you have another session, validity section also. But I congratulate you all that you in this COVID time also you people are taking the time out and you are attending the workshops and the development program, which will definitely be helping us here and there also, right? In your career also. Best of luck for you. And since I'm the mentor also, in case if you need anything from my side, whenever you clear or you need help to clear the 8 modules of the AICT, anytime, please contact me at my email ID, that is called amitkanpandit@gmail.com, or you can visit my site also, dramitkanpandit.co.in. With this, I say thanks. And I stop the presentation so that any other question that comes, please do ask. So should I end? I'm thankful to you all the participants, and in this tough time of COVID, please take precautions, be safe, and really excel in your field. Anything required, you please contact me. I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me a chance to interact at this platform with the faculty from across the country. Thank you. Monisha,
thank you very much, sir. Sir, I would like to request you to please be present for the valedictory if possible.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Definitely,
thank you very much, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am very fine, sir. I hope you remember me. We met last year.
Yeah, definitely. Sometime I miss on. मेरी AI थोड़ी सी weak है. मैं face को देख लेता हूँ, पर नाम कई बार मैं mismatch हो रहा है. तो I'm working on that also. So everybody there is, comfortable, safe.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Dear participants, we are at the last session of our FDP, which is the valedictory session. I am thankful that Dr. Amitkan Pandit has accepted our invitation to be here for the next 15-20 minutes. And I think Professor Mihir Mohanty would also be there. So because this is a valedictory session, I would like to all of you to. I'm starting the valedictory section right away so that it will be over as soon as possible, and you will be here, and maximum participation is also possible. So to start with the valedictory session, it usually starts with feedback from some of the participants. So I would like to request some of the participants to put forward what they liked about this particular event, and if there are some areas in which we can improve upon, they can also mention the same. So to start with, please open your mic and video, and please state your name and the institute and the state from where you are, and then start speaking. Yes, participant number 1, please.
Sir, can I start?
Yes, sir. You're welcome to start.
You want the video on, sir?
Yes, if it's possible,
yes,
please keep your video on.
Yes, sir. So can you see me? Okay, I'm lying on the bed with my laptop on my stomach. Okay, so please, I apologize for that. But it was a brilliant seminar and FDP, sir. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I come from a management background from Mumbai University's Alkesh Dinesh Modi College of Institute of Financial and Management Studies. So I'm also a computer engineer, so I could understand a lot of other things also. But I mean, it was brilliant. I mean, overall the program was very brilliant. Slight technical things, thoda ऊपर से गया, but थोड़ा सा technical वो I guess because I'm out of touch with computer engineering for some time now. But otherwise, the session was brilliant. The speakers were brilliant, especially the last two sessions were completely outstanding. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And actually, I'm planning a startup in this area, like AI in education. So I mean, let's see how it works. Maybe if I could collaborate with other people, and if you could send us the contact list, maybe we could tap into their expertise. I mean, it was thoroughly brilliant experience. Very good, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of encouragement. Next speaker, please. Yes, next speaker, please.
ये भी अच्छा है सर, आप रिलैक्स होके लेट के भी अटेंड कर सकते हो.
Yes, sir. That is one thing.
But anyway, at the end of the day,
everything has a silver lining in this pandemic. We would have liked to have all these things in person, in physical form, but because of the pandemic, at least,
I can understand.
one can attend it from. Yes, next speaker, please. I would like to invite at least 2-3 more interactions. Yes. Yes. May I know who is the next speaker? Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible and you're visible. Thank you for inviting our request. Yes, sir. Please go on.
Myself, Dr. Ain Mishra. I am from Krishna Engineering College, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Very, very far from you. Although I am very far from you, but the sessions which were conducted in online mode was very informative. You have covered lots of things in artificial intelligence, starting from basic of artificial intelligence to machine learning and deep learning. Everything was fine. All the speakers were very good. You have also included some speakers from industry. They have given us real-time problem solutions also, so we cannot think in that mode how to solve real-time problems. The only thing which I can suggest over here is, instead of covering so many topics by so many renowned persons, if we have something in say something like, we can have whole course in machine learning on similar topic, so that could have been more beneficial for us, because knowing all the things and accumulating all the information from all the renowned persons who have a immense background in their research, and understanding their research is really a huge task for us, at least for me in fact. Although I am working in this field from quite a years, so I could understand all the topics, but really all the research which have been presented over here, all the case studies which have been presented over there were really marvelous and informative to us. But I always feel that FDP should have one direction only.
Definitely, we can take up all these suggestions by you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, Mishra sir, for your suggestions. We will definitely consider them in the future. Thank you very much. Next presenter, please. Yes,
Good evening, sir. My name is Natal and I'm from ABS College, Ghaziabad. Sir, overall FDP was very good regarding the topics that were being covered since day one. Learning from the topic for AI, latest also right now, sir, classified weak and strong, narrow field. These all narratives, sir, my suggestion is that when we talk about AI is a broad field, and when we talk about AI in later areas like researches in AI made after 5 to 10 years. So question is, AI will make research, but how these technologies will be incorporated? So there should be a specific topic so that we can also guide students regarding their projects to why they should switch to machine learning and deep learning, and what all applications they are useful for. Like the research which I did in my MTech was in the field of bioinformatics, where we were trying to find out the protein synthesis, whether the protein will be synthesized or not. So there are many tools that have been used, and there are automated tools, and in field of AI also. So it can be much more easier for us, but overall the session was very informative, and each and every speaker have classified it, and they have shown their work, and be it theoretical and practical domain also, regarding the real-time applications as well as the general approach. So it was overall a very good session.
Thank you, ma'am. Amit sir, can you comment on whatever Mittal madam said? Can you suggest something on the lines?
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I hope you are safe and comfortable out there. मैम एक्चुअली जब आप ये कह रहे हैं ना, बात तो बिल्कुल सही है. जब आप स्पेसिफिक कोई एफडीपी बनाते हैं, लेट्स से ऑन मशीन लर्निंग ओनली, एंड यू आर डूइंग इट, तो the definitely it's good, but then it can be the I mean like follow up of this FTP. Like अभी अगर SOA ने algorithm I mean FTP करी, where they talked about say machine learning, deep learning, and all those participants who attended it, if they go for the second one also, they can plan a FTP which is very specific. Like if they get a feedback that there are out of 50 or 70 participants, there are 30 participants who are willing to go for specifically machine learning, then definitely it can be done.
Sir, actually, consider BTech students when we reach the final year, the top subject AI in itself is such a broad subject, but we are limited to only certain applications and certain algorithms. So students sometimes they get misguided how it can be used, and at that point we are unable to quote such examples. We can only show them certain applications, but we failed somehow to show the implementation, how these will be implemented in long term.
If you see, I have given you this the same example, you know, कि हम basic programming कर रहे हैं, उसकी जगह अगर आप actually देखें तो simulation में command को call नहीं करना. That is not we are supposed to learn, because that can be done by some ABCD person sitting in any other place location. But as an engineer, we are supposed to make a model, a mathematical model, and if you can make a mathematical model, definitely we may not get the recognition immediately, but sooner or later that model will be available in some higher version or the future version of the software. तो अगर हम ये कर पाएंगे ना मैडम, तो हमारे बच्चे कभी भी अलग नहीं जा पाएंगे. As a teacher, your concern is really good, ma'am. I appreciate, you know, there are very few teachers who are willing to say, I mean, think beyond the this programming. आप अगर थोड़ा सा इसको आप करेंगे मैम, तो काइंडली आप देखिए, there is enormous material. I tell you, I was taking a course in machine learning this semester, and there are student who are saying कि सर ये कमांड मैंने नेट पे डाउनलोड कर ली. अब कोविड में प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सभी लोग एक साइट से कॉपी करके लाते हैं, एंड यू कैन नॉट से कि भाई मैं नंबर कम करूंगा. So there has to be something which has to be different and unique. So what I did is basically I have given the question that I've shown you was the minor one question paper question. They were surprised to see सर ये प्रोग्रामिंग में तो आया नहीं. मैंने कहा मैं मॉडल जब क्लास में पढ़ा रहा था, उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बता रहा था, तब आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया. तो यस डेफिनेटली मैम, अगर इस तरीके से करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली हमारे बच्चे भी बेटर होंगे, एंड आई अप्रिशिएट योर कंसर्न मैम.
Thank you sir for your clarification. Yes ma'am, you can switch off your camera.
Thank you sir.
Okay ma'am, thank you for your suggestions. Next speaker please. Next speaker please. Yes, one more at least. Yes. Please put forward your views regarding this topic and this FTP and anything at all. Yes. Well, I do not want to like name people to turn up their mic and speak. That's why I'm telling you to volunteer yourselves. Can we have one more person? Okay. Do we have a professor? Yes, Vijay Lakshmi madam is here. Yes, madam. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Please put forward your views.
It was very good session, sir. We have understood a lot. Thanks for the session, sir.
Okay. Any suggestions for improvement, ma'am?
No more suggestions, sir.
Okay. Huh. So thank you, ma'am, for your views.
Overall, it was good session, sir.
Thank you very
It
much.
was complete
Thank you.
FTP.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
You can now switch off your video.
you.
Okay. So what I would like to do next is that I would like everyone to open their video feed for about 2-3 minutes. So there is a mode in Microsoft Teams, the together mode. So if you all can switch on your cameras, then it will create a group video kind of thing. The host, can we have the together mode enabled? Please share your screen so that the together mode is enabled, can be seen. Can we have it here? Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah, I could see only few of them. Please switch on your camera so that many faces will be here, because usually uh, in a FDP there is one slot for taking a group photograph. So that is not possible in pandemic. At least in Microsoft Teams we can have something like this. Please open your cameras for 3-4 minutes. I'm not asking for much. I can see only 20 faces, whereas more than 70 people are here. Please don't be. Yes, please open your cameras. Yes, Somendra sir, I can see you. I don't know why I cannot change the. I have a snapshot of only 20 people. Can we have some more people turning on their cameras? Please request.
Sir, I
from
have
the
turned on my camera, but I'm not visible somehow. I don't know. On the screenshot, I mean, what you are seeing.
screenshot. A minute before you were present, visible, but I don't know why it is not coming.
Yeah, just.
Okay, let it be like that.
I hope
Okay.
maybe because of some bandwidth issues, no?
Yes,
These
that
are not
could
coming
be.
up. Yeah. Right.
Okay. If I turn on the gallery mode, how many people have? Let me take one more in the gallery mode also. Okay. Yes. So now I would like to request Professor Amit Kant Pandit to say a few words regarding this FDP and his views on this.
See, it's good. I mean, the topic that has been selected is basically the most recent advancements, and everybody is nowadays thinking about working in this field. Why I'm saying it, you should work AI, ML, and deep learning, because this is a field for another 10 years. you as a faculty member, as a researcher, there's a scope, there's a field in this. I mean, to improve upon publication, projects, patents is basically the new era. And I appreciate all those who have attended it. On behalf of the SOA and the program committee, I thank you all for joining this program and making this program a learning experience for all, for the speakers as well as the participants. And I'm thankful to SOA, all the faculty members, all the coordinators, all the team members for organizing such a wonderful program. And I personally feel I mean, like, lot of effort goes in organizing a program. Thank you, sir. Thanks for giving me a chance to interact with young people. Right, sir? And
Thank you very much,
anybody,
sir.
I mean, like, everybody will be there to help you out, right, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Your association with Professor Mohanty goes a long way back, and certainly
Everyone at SOA,
your
everyone
words
at
of
SOA.
certainly
Yeah.
your words of appreciation is very
मैंने
encouraging for us.
मोहंती सर का मैंने नाम इसलिए नहीं लिया. I thought of it कि he will be busy with many things and he will be saying, I mean, like, ये बार बार मेरा ही नाम लेता है. But everybody I've seen at SOA, they are really hard working. You know, I've been in one conference, I've seen how picture perfect the program was.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you. So kind.
May I invite Professor Mihir Mohanty, who is the coordinator of this FDP, to speak a few words. Mihir, sir. Mihir, sir, is he present in the meeting? I think he is probably busy in something else. Okay, so thank you also. So let's do what is the last thing to do in such a program. So let's end up with the vote of thanks. So let's start the vote of thanks. Good afternoon, everyone, and one present here. It's an honor for me to get the opportunity to present the vote of thanks. On behalf of the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Faculty of Engineering and Technology ITR, Siksha O Anusandhan deemed to be University, I extend a very warm welcome to the people present in this virtual meeting. So in this FDP, we had the opportunity to hear some of the extremely interesting talks presented by some of the very popular resource persons. Altogether, we had 14 sessions by 11 different resource persons. We had with us Dr. Sachidananda Devuri, who is a professor in Department of Information and Communication Technology in FM University, Baleswar, Odisha. We had Dr. Nandajulal Jana from NIT Durgapur, West Bengal. We had two talks by our coordinator, sir, Dr. Mihir Narayan Mohanty, who is a professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering in SOA deemed to be University Odisha. We had two more talks from Professor Kandarpa Kumar Sharma, who is a professor and head of the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Guwahati University, Assam. We had one talk from Mr. Jitendra Khilar, who is a senior manager in the smelter plant at National Aluminium Corporation, Annugod. Then we had one talk from Dr. Pratik Shah, who is an assistant professor in Computer Science and Engineering at IIIT Vadodara. We had one talk from Dr. S.K. Palita, who is a professor and head of the Biodiversity and Conservation of Natural Resources from Central University of Odisha, situated at Koraput, Odisha. We had two wonderful talks by Dr. Swagatam Das, who is an associate professor and head of Electronics and Communication Sciences Unit of Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata, West Bengal. And we had one talk on from Dr. Love Kumar, who is an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Information Systems in BITS Pilani of Hyderabad campus. Now, today we had two talks. The first one was by Dr. Rashmita Khilar, who is a professor and the Institute of Information Technology, Savita School of Engineering in Savita University, Chennai. And the last talk and the last speaker also present with us is Dr. Amit Kant Pandit, who is a professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University in Jammu. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed resource person of this webinar because their presence and contribution has made this webinar a great success. I want to extend my generous thanks to all the participants of this FDP because without the participants, the FDP is simply incomplete. So the participants are like 90% of the FDP, and you were present in all parts of India. You have devoted your time and efforts in completing this particular FTP. Thank you for your participation. Your participation and discussion in different sessions were simply awesome. I mean, I have attended a few FDPs and where the participants are very silent. It was not the case in this particular scenario. Some of the talks were very much interesting because of your participation and discussion with the resource persons. Thank you for participating in this particular FTP. I extend my gratitude to Professor Mihir Narayan Mohanty, who is the coordinator of this FDP, for his efforts which saw the successful organization of this FDP. Thank you, sir. You have inspired us and encouraged us with your abundance display of your leadership, dynamism, and conviction. Thank you very much for being with us. An event like this does not happen overnight, as Amit sir has already mentioned. It is a concerted effort for months. The wheels started rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and an eye for details, and we have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who know what to do and who know how to do their job, and they are very result oriented. So this time, let me take this opportunity to thank the team behind this FDP. This team contains Mrs. Sarmishta Satrushalya, Mrs. Bhagilakshmi Behra, Dr. Mona Lisa Mohanty, Mr. Somendra Mahapatra, who is actually present in Chennai, but he has been instrumental in conduction of this particular FDP. Mr. Abhishek Das and Mr. Rakesh Patnaik, who you have given your best efforts towards the completion of this FDP. Thank you very much, and we expect very similar efforts from you in the subsequent FDPs and seminars and workshops and conference that we do in the department in our lab. Our profound thanks are extended towards Professor Bibhu Prasad Mohanty, who is the head of the Department of EC, and Professor P.K. Sahu, who is the Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Technology of ITER, for always having our back and for always motivating us to do this type of faculty development programs. Lastly, our profound gratitude is expressed to Professor Manoj Ranjan Naik, who is the president of Siksha O Anusandhan University, who has been a source of constant motivation and a very instrumental figure in organizing this FDP and many more. Thank you, sir, for your constant motivation. Thank you very much. And lastly, thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. And I will end this vote of thanks with a mention of the last exam time because many persons have requested to shift it to later time. So the exam will now commence at 7 p.m. of today to 8 p.m. from sharp 7 o'clock to sharp 8 o'clock. Kindly be present and kindly provide your appear your examinations on time. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you, Amit sir, for being here for the last half an hour, for bearing with us and for your constant motivation. Thank you, sir.
Sir, 7 to 8, right?
Yes, 7 o'clock
Okay.
to 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. because many persons said that they will be traveling from their university campuses to back. So many will be in transit. So we have taken that into account, and many also 1 or 2 queries came that 30 questions in 30 minutes will not be enough. So we have increased the time also. So the form will be live exactly at 7 and will end at exactly at 8 o'clock.
Sir, and is there a minimum time we have to sit for the exam, or we can finish and submit immediately? Or
No, I don't think there is a minimum time. If you can
okay,
finish off in 5 minutes also, it's up to you, sir.
okay, no, no, not that way. Sometimes it happens we can finish in 20, 30 minutes, like it's a MCQ, na? So that's why I was
Yes,
asking.
it is MCQ and it's basically a Google form. So I do not
Yes, sir.
think there
Yes,
is
sir.
a minimum time requirement.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
So thank you. If there are any other queries that you can get to me, then you can ask it here. Otherwise, we can end this meeting.
Sir, whether we need to join here or link will be posted in WhatsApp group, sir.
The link will be posted in the WhatsApp group as well as it will be sent in the email. You don't have to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Please fill the feedback form. Please fill up the feedback forms that have been shared with you in time. Any other queries?